Coming up on Unpeeled, the gavel has struck with the announcement of this show's second season.
It's the centennial celebration of Black History Month.
We're kicking off the start of the greatest weekend of football season.
And this First Lady's documentary is making headlines, but maybe not for all the right reasons. All that and more, Unpeeled starts right now. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Unpeeled. I'm Rickie.
And I'm Sophia Zaninovich. We start with an update on the Department of Justice investigation. The newest batch of Epstein files has been released. The most recent release by the Department of Justice added multiple celebrities and well-known political figures to the list of names involved. Some of the figures include Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and former President Bill Clinton.
New York Giants co-owner Steve Tisch's name was also in the latest drop of files. Other celebs had brief mentions, including Martha Stewart and Katie Couric. And in breaking news, the chair of the LA Games in 2028, Casey Wasserman, was also mentioned in the files, but the International Olympic Committee has announced he will not step down.
The spotlight will be temporarily going out on the National Symphony Orchestra. President Donald Trump has just announced that the John F. Kennedy Center will be closing for roughly 2 years. According to the Trump administration, the closure is for construction, revitalization, and a complete rebuilding.
The center was recently renovated in 2019. The closure comes after backlash from supporters of the Kennedy Center, including the Kennedy family and performers over Trump's takeover. Just last month, it was voted to be renamed to the Trump Kennedy Center. The center is set to close in July and reopen in 2028. Sophia, this is such a shocker, I'm sure, not only to the actual staff and volunteers working there, but also to fine arts, orchestra, and just pop culture fans like you and I.
No, it's upsetting to see how the members of the staff were also told about this. They were told on Truth Social the same
right, such an
way.
Odd way to find
such
out.
a weird way to find out, to know that you're going to lose your job in a creative field, mind you, which is very hard to find a job in now more than ever. And now you're not going to have a job in July, and you got to figure it out. So it's very sad.
And a lot of people, close to the situation were also saying, I read an article about how, especially in the world of orchestra, it's super, super difficult to just cut off the long gaining momentum that the NSO already had, shut it off for 2 years, and then bring it right back, expecting the same amount of ticket sales, fan turnouts, and different things like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how that turns out, as well as the actual renovations themselves.
I just hope they keep some of the history in
it.
No metal building, no metal box,
no grayscale, no grayscale. And the 2026 annual Sundance Film Festival ended last Sunday after opening around 2 weeks ago. Films like Josephine and 1 in a Million won top awards at this year's festival. Josephine received the coveted Grand Jury Prize reserved for fan-favorite films. This year also marked the first festival since the death of Robert Redford, the founder of Sundance Film Festival, who passed away in September.
And after more than 40 years of Sundance showcasing independent, original films in Park City, Utah, they have decided to change locations to Boulder, Colorado. This shift occurred mainly due to the growing popularity of the festival, with Boulder being about 10 times the size of Park City. Now, this is really an end of an era. I mean, Robert Redford, he was such an icon. I didn't even know that he founded the Sundance Film Festival.
I found out like a year ago too.
I have so much appreciation for him and what he's created. He resided in Utah. Makes sense why it was there. And the it's outgrown the city. It's upsetting, but it's a shift, and maybe it needs to happen.
Right. When you hear that they're changing locations, at least, due to the popularity, that's a good sign. But at the same time, when you move across state lines into a completely different city that's multiple hour drive away, it makes you wonder, does that same local fan base that was established over the last 50 years or so in Utah, do they turn out, or how is this, how is the fan base going to turn out to a new location?
Is it going to have the same local feel that I think people love about it? And I read the Sundance Institute released that about 80% of the volunteers from this year actually volunteered in past years. So we'll see if they make the trek to go all the way out there.
And court is back in session with season 2 of Jury Duty, except things are a little different this time. The upcoming season will shift away from staged trials and into a new plot centered around a man named Anthony who works for a hot sauce company.
He will unknowingly take part in a fake business trip, which will be filled with actors, scenarios, and unexpected outcomes designed to test his social instincts. Some fans have expressed concern about the ability to recreate the surprise of season 1. The season, titled Company Retreat, premieres its first 3 episodes on March 20th, with later episodes to follow. I'm so excited.
I am too.
You didn't watch the original Jury Duty, did you?
Unfortunately, I did not get to see season 1, but when you prefaced the show to me as kind of like a real-life Truman show, I got super excited anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it really was. It's one guy in a very controlled environment,
Right.
and all the jury, everyone's a little weird and kooky, and they have all these scenarios, and they talk behind the scenes about, oh, that wasn't supposed to happen, or that was supposed to happen. Such an interesting concept for TV. Like, you think everything's been made before? It hasn't, and this is the cool new thing that's happening. But a work retreat, how long has he worked at this company before? He's a temp, apparently. He was hired as a temp. So are they just gonna fire him and
you know, some temps, some temps work for, you know, longer periods of times at whatever company, but just like you, I also have questions of my own. When they go on this retreat, how close do they have to follow whatever Anthony says and does, and then how much do they have to actually inflict the scripts that they're given to them by the producers? So we'll have to see how it turns out. But when we return, we pay tribute to a beloved Hollywood star.
And February marks the start of Black History Month. We break down more on how to celebrate when Unpeeled comes back. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to an excellent episode of Live from Studio B.
Over the weekend, Hollywood lost one of its most beloved stars, yet her memory and influence will forever live on. Our TV reporter Lane Yeager and pop culture reporter Abby Tolchin have more.
Last Friday, it was announced that actress Catherine O'Hara had passed away at the age of 71. Well, she was reported to be battling a brief illness. An official cause of death has not yet been released.
However, we do know that O'Hara had a rare congenital condition, cardiac inversus, that causes the person's heart and other internal organs to be on the other side of the body. We are still unsure if there is any connection. Now, Lane, while this is such heartbreaking news, O'Hara lived a life full of some amazing accomplishments and definitely made her impact on the big screens.
O'Hara's dynamic career spanned over 5 decades and truly influenced the landscape of modern comedy. She won her first Primetime Emmy in 1982 for her outstanding writing on the Canadian sketch comedy show Second City Television. She then went on to cement herself in the industry through her roles as Delia Dietz in Beetlejuice and as Kevin's mother in the first 2 Home Alone films. Then in 2015, her career experienced a resurgence thanks to her performance as Moira Rose in fan favorite series Schitt's Creek. She was awarded both her second Emmy and a Golden Globe for the role. Many of O'Hara's current and former castmates have taken to social media to remember her legacy.
That's right, Lane. Following her death, in heartfelt tributes, several of her co-stars and friends highlighted her passion for making people laugh. Dan Levy shared on Instagram, "What a gift to have gotten to dance in the warm glow of Catherine O'Hara's brilliance for all those years. I will cherish every funny memory I was fortunate enough to make with her." But the tributes don't stop there. Posts from Michael Keaton, Seth Rogen, Tim Burton, and even her son from Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin, said, "Mama, I thought we had time. I wanted more. I wanted to sit in a chair next to you. I hear you. But I had so much more to say. I love you. I'll see you later." These posts show a fraction of the impact O'Hara had on those close to her. But those weren't the only people she made a lasting effect on. She had the ability to create a female character in something more than what was expected. After her role as a gossipy Beltway journalist in Heartburn, she said in a 1986 CNN interview, "When I first read it, I thought, oh, this woman does nothing but gossip. But then I started seeing her as a human being, like myself." It's safe to say O'Hara left her mark on the world and will not be forgotten. Sophia, back to you.
This February marks the 100th anniversary of Black History Month. Black History Month is a time to reflect on the past, but also how it's shaped today. Our lifestyle reporter, Jocelyn Mejia, has more.
Thank you, Sophia. What we now know as Black History Month today first began as a celebration called Negro History Week. This was started by an African-American scholar named Dr. Carter G. Woodson. Woodson chose February for Negro History Week because both purpose and strategy went into it. Woodson built Negro History Week as around these asking the public to expand their understanding of Black history, rather than start something new. By doing so, he strengthened the movement's impact and ensured its lasting success. Woodson worked hard to expand the celebration and study the lives of African Americans, but it wasn't until 1976 when President Ford made the celebration grow from a week to a month long. Today, Black History Month is absolutely essential. Black history not only highlights individuals, but it also fosters empathy and respect. Black History Month highlights the contributions, struggles, and achievements of Black Americans that often have been too looked and erased from the main history line. It provides an opportunity to create, reflect, and recognize how Black history is American history. Honoring leaders like former President Barack Obama or leaders like the past, like Dr. Martin Luther King, are just small examples of how Black history is so essential in everyone's day-to-day lives. The continuing fight for equity and justice is crucial, and we especially honor this for the 100th anniversary. If you are wondering how you can contribute and celebrate Black History Month, the opportunities are endless. It is just as simple as making the time to support local Black-owned businesses, educating yourself, and attending events and engaging. Here in the 315, Syracuse University's Intercultural Collective has organized an endless calendar of events starting from the 1st of February to the 1st of March. There's events like line dancing, soul food tasting, soul skate, basketball classics, and even more. In case you couldn't make it, celebrating Black history doesn't have to be hard. It could be as easy as reading a book by Black authors, watching a documentary on new topics and ideas, trying new meals inspired by Black culture, or volunteering to keep Black organizations alive. That's all for me today. Sending it back to you, Sophia.
Thanks, Jocelyn. When we come back, our sports reporter is in the Golden State prepping for this big sporting event. Stay tuned on Peelers.
Yeah, all right. Next time we'll be a little closer.
Jocelyn, you go.
Welcome back, Unpeelers. Super Bowl 60 is just 4 days away, and while fans around the country are getting ready for the big game, the Bay Area is preparing in other ways. Our sports reporter Nathaniel Cunningham is in San Francisco to break down how the Bay is getting ready for the game.
The Super Bowl is the biggest sporting event in the country year in and year out. But while the action on the field might be intense, the action off of it is arguably crazier. So what goes into hosting a Super Bowl?
The work really starts a couple of years out. You have to make sure that you start bringing together all of the different stakeholders to plan security, budgeting, sponsorships, transportation. We now have a Bay Area host committee that helps coordinate everybody across the region, which has been incredibly helpful.
The Bay Area host committee has a lot on its hands because unlike traditional years, Super Bowl 60 is held in Santa Clara, while the teams stay in San Jose and the media reports in San Francisco. But this multi-city model presented an opportunity Mahan couldn't miss.
And went to local employers, starting with some seed money from the city, and decided to raise funds locally to create a fan experience that ensures that Super Bowl week is accessible to all of our residents. Everybody should be able to participate and have a memorable experience, even if, maybe particularly if, they can't afford a ticket to the big game.
Super Bowls can attract nearly 250,000 extra people in the week up to the big game. And while fans are the focal point, to Tommy O'Hare, San Jose's sport and special event director, there's a bigger group.
We've brought 800 kids in from around the districts here in San Jose today to experience Media Day. We've paid for the transportation here. We've paid for them to be here. And so we really want kids to be inspired by this and really, get excited in sport, but also be a better person through sports.
Well, those kids that get to come to the Super Bowl this week are going to get to check out events like the one behind me. The Super Bowl fan experience allows people to go in, run a 40-yard dash, try to kick a PAT, and pick up some of their team's favorite merchandise. Either way, it sets up a great opportunity for young fans to learn about the best sport in the world. Reporting from San Francisco, California, Nathaniel Cunningham, Citrus TV.
Thanks, Nathaniel. I hope you're enjoying your time in San Francisco. With 250,000 extra people in the Bay Area, businesses are feeling the impact. To expand more on the money behind the game and who really benefits is our business reporter, Cammie Bremer.
Thank you, Sophia. When the Super Bowl comes to town, it brings more than just football. It brings tourism, corporate events, and a week-long surge of spending that can transform an entire region. For Super Bowl 60 at Levi Stadium, estimates show the Bay Area could see between $370 and $600 million in economic activity. San Francisco alone is projected to bring up to $440 million from fan fests, media events, and corporate activations across the city. That money comes from full hotels, packed restaurants, ride shares, and short-term rentals. But the economic impact goes beyond tourism. The Super Bowl creates short-term job surge in security event production, transportation, and media support, putting millions of dollars directly into local payrolls. There's also a long-term play. Hosting the Super Bowl puts the Bay Area on a global stage, signaling to investors, conventions, and future events that the region can handle massive global moments. With California also hosting the 2026 FIFA World Cup matches and the 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles, there will be way more eyes globally on the state in years ahead. Together, these events are projected to generate more than $18 billion in economic activity statewide. But economics say the headline numbers can be misleading. Studies show some regular tourists avoid host cities during Super Bowl week, and a large share of revenue flows to the NFL and out-of-town businesses, limiting how much money actually stays local. Even so, demand stays strong. Resale ticket prices for Super Bowl 60 have dropped nearly 30%, which could bring in more last-minute fans and boost regional spending. For the Bay Area, the Super Bowl is a short-term economic surge. Whether it turns into a long-term win depends on who keeps the money after the confetti falls. Back to you, Sophia.
Thanks, Cammie. When we come back, we are just a few short days away from the opening of the 2026 Olympics. Find out where to get your news on socials when we come back. A new documentary was released featuring Melania Trump. Our film reporter Sophia is here to break down why it had sparked so much debate. I'm so excited to have you here,
Thank
Sophia.
you.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me a little bit about this documentary.
Yeah, so this documentary gives a behind the scenes on Melania Trump. It shows the 20 days going into President Donald Trump's second inauguration. So it shows her like interacting with her family, her staff, the advisors. So it's like more of like a feature documentary on her and like just her perspective throughout that whole process.
That's so exciting. I mean, seeing behind the scenes, we don't really get to see that. I mean, presidential,
Yes,
it's very
definitely.
closed doors. So what's all the buzz about? What are people talking about? What are the reviews?
Yeah, so it was opening weekend last weekend and it sold $7 million in ticket sales. But I want to preface though, this documentary was given $40 million to make, which is like unheard of when doing documentaries like that. So the ticket sales right now are not enough to keep up with like all the marketing they did and all the production they had to do. And also there's been a lot of buzz on social media, like reporters have been going to the theaters and seeing how empty it is, and it's been circulating online, and it's honestly turned into like fans are like, oh, like kind of making fun of it because there's not a lot of people there.
Yeah, and the documentary just came out a couple days ago, so why is there this is in the media everywhere, so why is that?
I think that this documentary can be seen as like shaping a public figure rather than giving new like information behind the scenes. A lot of people have been talking about how Melania is a producer on this, so critics have been thinking like, is this documentary really objective? So they're trying to see like where she's at with all of this, and also at the same time people do think that it does give a rare and like new interesting perspective, but the reactions have been very mixed, especially because she is a producer on this documentary.
It would be interesting to see it and maybe form your own opinion about
Yes,
it. Yeah,
definitely.
Well, thank you so much,
Of
Sophia.
course, thank you.
And now back to you, Rickie.
It's that time of year again. The 2026 Winter Olympics are starting in just 2 days. Coverage from Milan is firing up just like the torches, and our social media reporter Maddie Ritter is here to give us all the details.
Well, that's right, Rickie. Social media coverage for the 2026 Winter Games is in full swing. It first began with TikTok's hockey princes Connor Story and Hudson Williams carrying out their duties as the 2026 torchbearers. But that's only scratching the surface. Users are providing content like outfit of the days, merchandise unboxing, tours of the venue, and more. Many Olympians have taken to TikTok to show their kits and merchandise that they'll be wearing throughout the games, and users have lots of feedback to give. On a video from Olympic snowboarder Hannah Norman, users are commenting saying that they want it all so bad and are wondering if they're too old to become an Olympic athlete just to wear this gear. So you may be asking, where's all this coming from? Well, NBC Universal has relaunched their Creator Collective program in partnership with YouTube, Meta, and TikTok. This originally started with the 2024 Paris Olympics and garnered over 6 billion impressions across NBC's sports social media accounts. So it was the right idea to bring it back for 2026. 25 content creators have been chosen to show the games through their eyes, giving on-the-ground coverage to users scrolling from home. Some notable names include Kylie Kelsey, Bowen Yang, and Matt Rogers, and Riley Arnold. These influencers have unprecedented access to the athletes and competitions, which has been provided through NBC Universal. Gary Zenkel, the president of NBC Olympics, says, quote, "The Olympic movement has never been stronger. And as we look towards the upcoming Milan Cortina Winter Olympic Games, we are excited to once again partner with incredible creators and these powerful platforms to bring the stories of the athletes and the spirit of the games to fans everywhere." TikTok users can expect content to come from these influencers as well as the official Olympics account as we gear up for the games in just 2 days. I've got to get back to the village, so I'll send it back to you guys.
Maddie, I wish I could join you in Milan, but when we return, our music reporter is here to break down the biggest wins and snubs of this year's Grammys. Be right back, Unpeelers.
go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Music's biggest night celebrates the achievements in production, songwriting, and audio throughout the year.
Our music reporter Elizabeth Gottlieb has more on the Grammy Awards' biggest moments.
Well, Grammys night was certainly filled with unforgettable wins and performances. Bad Bunny made history with his Album of the Year win for Debí Tirar Más Fotos. It was the first time that an all-Spanish language album won the category. The upcoming Super Bowl halftime performer also won for Best Música Urbana album and used his time at the mic to speak out against ICE.
I'm gonna say, eyes out. We're not savage, we're not animals, we're not aliens, we are humans and we are Americans.
More history was made as Kendrick Lamar is now the most awarded rapper at the Grammys with his 27 wins, surpassing Jay-Z. Lamar won Record of the Year for Luther alongside SZA and won Best Rap Album for GNX. After another year with a competitive category for Best New Artist, Olivia Dean received the award from former Best New Artist, Chappell Rowan. She was a part of the Best New Artist medley where she sang Man I Need. Now this is the second time they've done this medley and I really like it. It gives a lot of exposure to these growing artists as they're starting out in this industry.
Right, and especially, you know, sometimes we forget what was released over the course of the last year or so. So to have them combine all these songs into one melody, it was super awesome.
I was so excited, and I felt like the whole thing was filmed like a music video. Every single performance, it was so interactive, like you were on stage with them.
Yeah, and getting song after song after song, it was perfect. My favorite was Addison Rae into Cat's Eye. The transition was
the up and down.
Seamless. But my favorite production throughout the whole night was definitely Sabrina Carpenter doing Man-Child. Just like you said with the Best New Artist, this was a production. As you're seeing on your screen, the costumes, they're at an airport, and they really thought it out from start to finish. But did you guys have any performances that stood out to you?
The tribute to D'Angelo.
I love Olivia Dean, so her.
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have with you tonight.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to follow us on our socials at Unpeeled_Syracuse and Instagram and at CitrusTVE on X. I'm Sophia Zaninovich.
And I'm Rickie Potts. From all of us at Unpeeled, stay warm, Syracuse.